All right, I'm here with Rupert, who sit, a little passive training. And in this video, I'm going to go over how you, if you have kids, how you can get your kids to help you train your dog to do the things that you want instead of the things that you don't want. Now, it's important to understand for dogs, good attention and bad attention are pretty much the same thing. So the dog jumps up on us and we scream and move away or we pet it, well, then we're rewarding the dog for those. Even if it barks and you say, stop it, well, I barked and you responded, so I'm getting a response from you. So I went through my with the Guardian, I went over what I like to call petting with a purpose, which means that if he comes up and nudges me, if I pet him when he's telling me what to do, then it kind of reinforces that he thinks he's the boss of me. So I consider petting a dog a way of paying them. When I talk to kids, I always tell kids, you know, petting our dog is how we say please or thank you. Would you say please or thank you before I give you this piece of candy? And the kids, if they're really young, always say before, and I'm like, are you sure you want to think about that? After? That's right. So here's a piece of candy, M&M or whatever it is. So basically, one of the things I learned from the dog guy is that when we pet our dog, that's how we say thank you or please. So I need you to just keep it on me. Rupert, it's just a clicker, buddy. This is where the good stuff is. Sit. So basically, instead of just going and petting Rupert for no reason, we're going to start asking Rupert to sit before we pet him. Now, every time you do that and you come and tell an adult, then basically we're going to go ahead and before you do this, you would have like an arts and crafts day where you basically get a glass or a mug or a bowl or some sort of vessel for each child. And then basically what you do is the arts and crafts time, you like take the glue and some glitter and you write the kid's name on it and they can decorate it with baseballs or whatever they're into. And then basically you say, okay, so when we pet our dog, that's how we say thank you. So from now on, I'd like you to ask Rupert to sit or to lie down before you pet him. And when you pet him, you're saying thank you for sitting. Sit. And and tell them when he sits, pet him and say the word sit, which will help him understand things better. And if you do that and you come and tell me, I'm going to take an M&M, I'm going to go put it in your jar. And then at the end of the day, all the kids get their jars at the dinner table, and they dump them on the plate, and you count up whoever had the most. Maybe they get a special piece of pie or an extra special dessert. And then if you don't want them to have the chocolate that late in the day, maybe they get that the next day. So I had one client, she had 5 kids. And she goes, like, first day, one of the kids who really liked the dog, got like 50 M&Ms. The other kids had like 2 or 3, and the other kids had none. So the second day, competition kicked in. All of a sudden, all the kids had 40 or 50 M&Ms. She goes, within a week, it was amazing how much the dog's behavior had changed. Because now the kids are the worst ones. They're usually the ones that are rewarding the dog for doing things we don't want. Now they're like, I just pet it with a purpose. I just pet it with a purpose. I just said thank you. And so now the kids have a motivation. And let's say the kids do some things you don't want. One of the things I recommend is if the dog has a dog bed or a kennel and we have young children, the children should not be able to interact with the dog when it's on the dog bed or in the kennel. Dogs have a fight or flight response. Most of the time they're going to move away from kids. But if the dog doesn't have a place to go away from, the kids often will just keep on going and grabbing them, and eventually the dog turns around and nips because I'm overly tired, you're not listening. Well, then the dog's the bad guy. So let's say that Rupert was on the dog bed, and one of the kids went over, oh, hey, he's on his dog bed, you can't pet him. If you pet him, I would have to take this M&M away. Do you want to? Oh, or if they forget to pet with a purpose, you can say, I have to take this M&M, would you like to earn this back? Rupert, sit. And then they pet him and say, sit. Okay, well, I'll put that back in your jar. So it's a nice way for the kids to have motivation to want to do these things. So remember, and you can ignore that if you can, great. Rupert is making it difficult. He's taking advantage of the moment, which dogs are often want to do. So if Rupert comes up and nudges me, instead of me petting him when he tells me to, I'm going to tell him to sit. Rupert, sit. And I go and arc over the head. When I pet him under his chin and say the word sit. And then I pet him as much or as little as I want. For the humans, for the adults, it's a little bit easier. But for the little kids, it gives them that motivation they need. So if you get in a habit of petting with a purpose, every time you pet your dog, it becomes a little micro dog training session that increases the dog's respect for you as an authority figure because it has to earn that affection rather than being given to him. Number 2, it helps him boost his self-esteem and confidence. Sit. And because he's earning the affection rather than giving it. Number 3, it helps him practice sitting, which is something he needs some help with. Rupert, come. Sit. Well, these are some tips and tricks that you can use if you have kids and you have a dog that doesn't listen and the kids aren't helping.